As the night falls and the darkness creeps in, the world around us changes. Shadows seem to grow longer and the silence becomes deafening. But what happens when the silence is broken by the sound of footsteps that don't belong to anyone you know? What happens when you hear a whisper in your ear but there's no one there? Welcome to our world of horror, where the unknown is the only certainty and fear is the only emotion. Brace yourself, because the journey we're about to take is not for the faint of heart. The remote underwater cave system was the stuff of legend. Only a handful of people had ever ventured into its depths, and those who did had never returned to tell the tale. But for a group of experienced divers looking for a new challenge, the rumors of the cave system's treasures and mysteries were too tantalizing to ignore. The group consisted of 5 divers, each with their own specialty and experience level. There was Olivia, the team leader and expert in cave diving, Eric, the equipment specialist, Kim, the marine biologist, Marco, the photographer and videographer, and finally, Tom, the rookie who was eager to prove himself. The journey to the cave system was not an easy one. They had to travel through miles of dense jungle and rough terrain to reach the remote coastline. From there, they loaded their equipment onto a small boat and made their way towards the entrance of the cave system. As they approached, the divers could feel their excitement and trepidation growing. The entrance was hidden behind a curtain of seaweed, and they had to navigate through a narrow passage to enter. Once inside, the cave system opened up into a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and caverns, lit only by the light of their dive torches. The group swam deeper into the cave system, taking in the breathtaking rock formations and marine life they encountered. Kim was particularly fascinated by the unique species of fish and crustaceans that she had never seen before. As they swam further, the water became colder and murkier, and the tunnels became narrower and more claustrophobic. But the divers persevered, driven by their curiosity and a desire to uncover the secrets of the underwater cave system. Finally, they came to a large chamber, unlike anything they had seen before. The walls were covered in shimmering crystals, and the ceiling was so high it disappeared into darkness. But their awe was short-lived as they heard a strange sound echoing through the chamber, a low, guttural growl that made the water vibrate. Olivia signaled for the group to stay still, and they huddled together, their eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of danger. Suddenly, something large and dark darted out of the shadows, heading straight for them. The divers instinctively swam backwards, but it was too late. The creature was upon them, and they could see now that it was unlike anything they had ever seen before. It was a monstrous, fish-like creature with razor-sharp teeth and glowing eyes, and it was hungry. The divers scattered, trying to evade the creature's jaws as it chased them through the chamber. They could hear its jaws snapping shut just inches behind them, and they knew that their only chance was to find a way out of the cave system before it was too late. With their hearts pounding and their lungs burning, the divers swam deeper into the unknown depths of the underwater cave system. But as they would soon discover, the creature was not the only danger they faced, and their adventure was about to become a nightmare they would never forget. The creature chased the divers through the cavern, its massive jaws snapping shut just inches behind them. They could feel the water vibrate with each thunderous movement of the beast, and fear gripped their hearts as they realized that they might not make it out of the cave system alive. The team's leader, Olivia, quickly took charge, trying to find a way to fend off the creature. She signaled for Eric to hand her the spear gun, and he quickly obliged, handing it over as he swam past her. Olivia aimed the spear gun at the creature, but its thick scales were too tough to penetrate. She tried to aim for its eyes, but it was too fast and agile, dodging her every shot. Meanwhile, Kim had pulled out her underwater camera, trying to capture footage of the creature. She had never seen anything like it before, and she knew that the footage could be invaluable to the scientific community. As the creature continued its relentless pursuit, the divers realized that they needed to find a way out of the cavern. They swam deeper into the cave system, searching for an exit, but the creature was always close behind. Suddenly, Olivia spotted a small opening in the wall of the cavern. It was barely big enough for them to squeeze through, but it was their only chance. The divers swam towards the opening as fast as they could, the creature hot on their heels. With a final burst of speed, they managed to squeeze through the opening just as the creature slammed into the wall behind them. They could hear it growling and snapping its jaws, frustrated that its prey had escaped. As the divers caught their breath and regrouped, they realized that they had stumbled upon something truly remarkable. The cavern they had just escaped from was filled with strange and exotic marine life, unlike anything they had ever seen before. Kim was beside herself with excitement, her camera snapping away as she captured footage of the unique creatures. Marco was equally thrilled, snapping photos and taking notes about the environment and the creature's behavior. But as they explored further, they discovered something that chilled them to the bone. Deep within the cavern, they found a pile of human bones, picked clean and scattered haphazardly around the area. The divers realized that they were not the first to venture into the cave system, and that whoever had come before them had met a gruesome fate. They also knew that they were not alone in the underwater cave system, and that there were far more dangers lurking in the depths than they had ever imagined. As they swam deeper into the cave system, the divers knew that they were treading on dangerous ground. But their curiosity and thirst for adventure overruled their fear, and they pressed on, determined to uncover the secrets that lay hidden beneath the waves. The divers continued to explore the underwater cave system, their excitement tempered by the discovery of the human bones. They swam deeper into the cavern, marveling at the strange and exotic marine life they encountered along the way. As they swam, Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. She had the sense that something was following them, lurking just out of sight. She signaled for the team to stay alert, and they swam on, their senses on high alert. Suddenly, the floor of the cavern dropped away beneath them, plunging them into a dark and murky abyss. The team scrambled to get their bearings, their diving lights illuminating a series of deadly traps and obstacles that lay ahead. The cavern was filled with sharp stalagmites and stalactites, their pointed tips jutting out from the walls and ceiling. The divers had to maneuver carefully to avoid them, their movements slow and deliberate as they navigated the treacherous terrain. As they swam, they realized that the cavern was booby-trapped. Invisible wires hung in the water, waiting to be triggered by the slightest touch. Olivia signaled for the team to be cautious, and they swam on, their eyes scanning the murky depths for any sign of danger. Suddenly, a trap was triggered, and the team was caught in a deadly current, pulling them towards a massive propeller. They struggled against the current, fighting to break free, but it was too strong, dragging them closer and closer to the whirling blades. Just when it seemed that all was lost, Eric managed to grab hold of a nearby rock, anchoring himself in place. The other divers followed suit, grabbing hold of anything they could find to keep from being swept into the propeller. As the deadly current subsided, the divers realized that they were trapped. They had no way of escaping the cavern, and they were running low on air. Panic began to set in, and they knew that they needed to find a way out before it was too late. With no other options, Olivia signaled for the team to follow her as she swam deeper into the cavern. The water grew colder and darker, and the pressure increased, making it harder and harder to breathe. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, they spotted a faint light in the distance. They swam towards it, their hearts pounding with anticipation, hoping that it was the way out. As they got closer, they realized that it was a small opening in the cave system. It was a tight squeeze, but they managed to swim through, emerging on the other side, gasping for air. The team had made it through the deadly traps and obstacles, but they knew that there was still more to come. They swam on, determined to uncover the secrets of the underwater cave system, no matter what dangers lay ahead. The team of divers continued to explore the underwater cave system, but their encounter with the deadly traps had left them shaken. Olivia led the group, her eyes scanning the murky waters for any sign of danger. As they swam, they heard a strange clicking sound, echoing through the cavern. It sounded like something was approaching, and the team grew increasingly nervous. Suddenly, the creature appeared, looming out of the darkness. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before, a massive, monstrous creature with razor-sharp teeth and glowing eyes. It swam towards them, its tentacles reaching out, and the team knew that they were in serious danger. Olivia signaled for the team to back away, but the creature was too fast, swimming towards them with incredible speed. The team split up, trying to evade the creature, but it seemed to be everywhere, its tentacles lashing out, trying to grab hold of them. The team fought back, using their diving knives to fend off the creature, but it was too strong, too determined to capture them. Olivia realized that they needed a new strategy, and she signaled for the team to retreat to a small alcove in the cave system. As they huddled together, the creature circled around them, its tentacles probing, searching for a way in. The team was terrified, unsure of how to defend themselves against this monstrous creature. Suddenly, Eric had an idea. He reached into his pack and pulled out a small explosive charge. He signaled to the team to follow his lead, and they swam towards the creature, placing the charge near its massive body. The creature seemed to sense the danger, and it swam away, its tentacles flailing in the water. The team quickly swam back to the alcove, bracing themselves for the explosion. The charge went off with a deafening boom, and the cavern shook with the force of the blast. The team was thrown to the ground, their ears ringing with the sound of the explosion. When they looked up, they saw that the creature had been killed, its massive body floating lifelessly in the water. The team breathed a sigh of relief, realizing that they had narrowly escaped with their lives. But their relief was short-lived, as they realized that they were still trapped in the underwater cave system, with no way out. They had to find a way to escape, or they would be trapped forever in this watery grave. Olivia signaled for the team to regroup, and they swam deeper into the cave system, searching for any signs of an exit. But as they swam, they realized that the cave system was even more dangerous than they had imagined, filled with deadly traps and obstacles at every turn. The team swam on, their spirits low, knowing that they were in a race against time to escape before they ran out of air. The underwater horror was far from over, and they had to stay alert if they hoped to survive. The team of divers continued to swim deeper into the underwater cave system, their air supply dwindling with every passing moment. Olivia led the way, her eyes scanning the murky waters for any sign of an exit. But as they swam, they realized that the cave system was a maze of tunnels and passageways, with no clear way out. They were lost, trapped in this underwater labyrinth with no way to escape. Their situation grew increasingly dire as their air supply continued to dwindle. Olivia signaled to the team to conserve their oxygen, swimming slowly and carefully to conserve their energy. But even as they slowed their pace, the team could feel their bodies beginning to weaken, their lungs straining for air. Panic set in as they realized that they were running out of time. Eric, always the resourceful one, suggested that they try to find a pocket of air to rest and conserve their oxygen. The team agreed, and they swam deeper into the cave system, searching for any signs of an air pocket. But the deeper they swam, the more dangerous the cave system became. Deadly traps and obstacles littered the tunnels, and the team was forced to swim carefully, constantly on the lookout for danger. As they swam, they heard a sound in the distance. It was a faint rushing sound, growing louder with every passing moment. The team realized that it was the sound of rushing water, and they knew that they had to be close to an exit. With renewed hope, the team swam towards the sound, their hearts racing with excitement. But as they turned a corner, they were met with a sight that dashed their hopes. In front of them was a massive wall of water, rushing towards them with incredible speed. The team tried to swim away, but the current was too strong, pulling them towards the wall of water. They braced themselves for impact, holding their breath as the wall of water crashed over them. The force of the water was incredible, pulling them deeper into the cave system. As they were carried along by the current, the team realized that they had made a terrible mistake. They had been too eager to escape, and now they were being swept deeper into the cave system, with no hope of escape. Their air supply was running out fast, and they knew that they had only minutes left to live. Desperate, they swam towards a nearby alcove, hoping to find a pocket of air to rest and conserve their oxygen. But as they entered the alcove, they realized that they had made another mistake. The alcove was filled with a deadly gas, invisible and odorless, that was slowly suffocating them. The team tried to swim away, but their bodies were too weak, too depleted of oxygen to fight back. They knew that they were going to die, trapped in this underwater horror, with no hope of escape. Their bodies began to shut down, their minds growing hazy as the darkness closed in. And as they took their last breaths, they knew that they had made a fatal mistake, venturing too far into the underwater cave system and paying the ultimate price. Days passed before anyone realized that the group of divers had not returned from their expedition. When they failed to show up at their scheduled pickup location, a search party was sent out to look for them. It was not until several days later that the search party found the entrance to the underwater cave system. They suited up and began their descent, unsure of what they would find inside. As they swam deeper into the cave system, they were met with a sight that filled them with horror. The bodies of the missing divers were floating lifelessly in the water, their equipment scattered around them. The search party retrieved the bodies and brought them to the surface, where they were identified by their families. The news of their tragic deaths spread quickly, sending shockwaves through the diving community. An investigation was launched into the incident, and it was discovered that the underwater cave system was much more dangerous than previously thought. The traps and obstacles that the divers had encountered were not natural formations, but had been deliberately placed there to keep people out. It was also discovered that the strange and terrifying creature that the divers had encountered was not a natural inhabitant of the cave system, but had been brought there by someone or something. The investigation was unable to determine who was responsible for the deaths of the divers or why they had been lured into the underwater cave system. The only thing that was certain was that whoever or whatever was responsible was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next victim. The tragic deaths of the divers had a profound impact on the diving community, and many vowed never to venture into unknown underwater cave systems again. But for some, the lure of the unknown was too strong to resist, and they continued to explore remote and dangerous underwater environments. As for Olivia's family, they were left to grieve the loss of their daughter and sister, haunted by the knowledge that she had died alone, trapped in an underwater horror. They could only hope that her death would serve as a warning to others, a reminder of the dangers that lurked beneath the surface of the water. In the end, the underwater horror of the remote cave system claimed 6 lives and left countless others shaken and scarred. The mystery of what happened to the divers may never be fully solved, but their tragic deaths serve as a reminder that the underwater world is full of danger and that sometimes the price of curiosity can be too high.